see you guys in the dark.
This story takes place over a year ago. If you remember the story about Michael, then that will save a ton of time. Now, after Michael, a friend of mine, Steve, started to hate dealing with him as well. Steve's girlfriend ran off with another guy, took his child away from him, making it hard for him to see his son. Steve had come to my house depressed and needing someone to talk with. And of course, as a friend, I was there for him and had him come over daily just to keep his mind off of things. Fast forward a few months. We started a band together. I was buying him drinks and cigarettes, putting gas in his car to help him out while he was working on his YouTube career. Steve finally had gotten monetized. For a few months, he was actually making money. He got back onto heavy drugs, and he started to bring it into the back house, and he started using it, then suddenly started making excuses as to why he didn't want to continue his YouTube channel. First, it started with that they were doing new test stuff, and they were making it harder for him to make any money on YouTube. Then all of a sudden, he got strung out, and when he came off the stuff, he got a major headache and started getting irritable about everything, and didn't want to work at all. I had argued with him for a few days that he should keep going, or he won't be making anything. And then he can't complain that he doesn't have anything to show for it. After being yelled at that he was coming off the shit and had a migraine, I gave up. I let him do whatever he wanted. A couple of months down the road, we had to move farther away into a 55 and older community for a short period of time. I started doing cryptocurrency while I was out there. Started teaching Steve what I had learned, hoping that he would get started on something that would actually make him some money. He got interested in it, and he started learning off of me, and me off of him. As the days had went on, he started messing with a woman named Keisha. Since Keisha was already an old roommate of mine, I warned him not to mess with her because all she does is do drugs and use men for what she wants, and then she throws them away. Steve didn't listen. He got a job with her at Burger King. Decided to sell his work computer. Eventually got screwed over by her. For months after, all I heard was him bitch about how stupid she was and how she won't amount to anything in life. A few months later, we had to move yet again to my roommate's boss's house for a little while. This is where it gets even worse. Steve kept coming over after I told him that I needed time to work. Then when he would come over, he would just complain and talk every time that he walked into the door. Shortly after, things started to look like it was getting a little bit better. His attitude and his emotions were starting to get in check. Right about the time that we found out that my roommate's grandfather had died, and we would move back into the old house. So we moved back in, when suddenly a few days had gone by. Steve comes asking for a place to stay, because everyone at his neighbors were starting stuff with him, and he just needed an escape. I told him this isn't my house, so I was told just a few days, that way he can lay low. I gave him the back house to stay in, so that he could cool off and have some alone time. During the first few days, he would walk into the main house and start getting an attitude about everything that wasn't going his way. Despite telling him multiple times that I was told only a few days, he decided that he would keep staying there and bring people over, even though I told him not to. A week had gone by. My roommate had enough, and she was sick with the flu at this point. She told me that she didn't want to see Steve that whole day, so I agreed and told him over Facebook that she didn't want anyone there. He replied with, "What does that even mean? I don't understand. This whole time, the social behavior bullshit. I don't even have a place to live. You're basically telling me that even if I did live there, that I'm not allowed to fucking have guests? I've been trying to clean up the backyard, and I've been trying to hire someone to clean your fucking house. You won't even get the money to pay these people. You've turned down 2 people that would have had your home looking great. Mind you, a couple of those people were drug addicts and just wanted a hit, and I don't trust people that will possibly steal from me." The messages went on as such. I don't understand at all. I mean, what difference does it make if I bring somebody over? If that person is going to be with me the whole time, and nowhere near her or you, so it's irrelevant whether they're over there or not. It's so fucking stupid. It really is. It's absolutely antisocial, unfriendly behavior. I had replied with, meaning she doesn't want anyone or you there. She's feeling like shit. She's tired of seeing you every single day. She's already yelled at me today and said that you were only supposed to be there a few days, not a week, which I did tell you ahead of time. Suddenly I get messages that says, well, fine, sure. I'll just come get my fucking clothes, and I'll live in my car. Thanks a lot. You're real helpful. You really don't give a fuck about anybody but your fucking self. He was right about you. That I did choose the wrong fucking friend. Ozzy, I mean. He was right that he said that I chose the wrong friend. Suddenly, that's when I blow at him, telling him this.
Don't be giving me that fucking bullshit. It's not my fucking fault. I tried, and you know what? She said from the get-go, only a few fucking days. I don't fucking care about you, motherfucker! I am the one who has helped you with your gas, who has fucking tried to help you with your fucking career. And you know what? If you think I don't fucking care about you, think about all the shit I've done for you. Don't fucking give me that. I have dealt with all your fucking drama, all your fucking depression. All you have done is make my life a fucking living hell, and all I've tried to do is fucking help you. You make fucking excuses, and you know what? Guess what? I don't give a fuck anymore. You think I don't care about anybody? Well, guess what? Maybe I should just stop giving a fuck about everybody but myself. So don't be giving me that Ozzy was right, you chose the wrong fucking friend. Because what has he done for you besides bring you down? What have I tried to do besides help you?
Suddenly I get blocked from Facebook. He goes to grab his stuff. And when I go into the back house, it looks trashed. Things are thrown around everywhere. Just goes to show you that no matter what you do for people, they'll always throw a fit when they don't get their way. So Steve, if you hear this, or someone knows you that hears this, I hope you know that it wasn't me that fucked up a good friendship. Also, I hope the people that you run around with now give you everything that you think they will, because obviously I wasn't good enough for you. I can relate to the pain of losing a girlfriend. As a child, my friends and I would drift apart. But often, that was a result of family moves, or institutionally motivate separations into different classes or schools. We were too little to control these situations, and too young to let our sorrow linger. Soon new friends were on the horizon, and those friends from the past became pleasant memories. But a number of years ago, I began to socialize with a woman that I met at work. We both were starting careers at the same university. We usually met each other after work to run together in a neighborhood park, and we shared our frustrations about our work, our goals, and our hopes as we ran. She introduced me to the ice hockey games. I invited her to concerts. We attended conferences together and shared hotel rooms to cut down on costs. Occasionally our travels took us overseas. We were best friends, and we were also supportive colleagues. A few years ahead of her in the system, I stood up for her on a number of occasions, trying to help smooth processes and expectations on that her advancement would be easier than had mine. I was outspoken in my concern for her, and it wasn't always without risks, but it seemed the right thing to do. And then she just stopped meeting me after work for our usual runs. We stopped attending conferences together. I tried to talk to her about the way things were changing between us, but she was not responsive. She brushed my concern aside by telling me that she was just getting very busy, and she was also working on a new relationship. At the same time, my marriage was collapsing. I remember one day, after she had snubbed me, walking to my car, and realizing that it hurt more to lose our friendship than it had my marriage. In many ways, there's something more intimate about a friendship with a woman. I trusted her implicitly, and then she faded away. I felt horribly betrayed. It really did hurt. She left my university and took a job elsewhere. Occasionally, we would see each other at conferences, and we are politely professional. I have other wonderful female friends. Some I have maintained relationships with since high school. Others I've made more recently. I'm lucky to have such good friendships, but occasionally I still feel a twinge of hurt. My best friend Andy and I were inseparable in high school. We finished each other's sentences, wore each other's clothes, shared a diary, and at one point we had lived together. Our intense chemistry was comparable to a romantic relationship, but more powerful because of its platonic nature. When Andy was young, her father had committed suicide. Her mother was barely competent, and Andy had to parent herself at a young age. She was dangerously close to being outright narcissistic, and I chalked it up to her overcompensating for lost attention and love. When she met her first boyfriend, I knew our friendship was ending. Eerily, she began to cut and dye her hair to resemble him, and wore his clothing. She was becoming him, sharing and losing identity in him, and simultaneously displaying her recovery of male attention in full force. It was insurance, preventing another important man from leaving her. Her transformation signaled to me that our friendship was also mimicry. Looking back, I understand that the closeness she shared with me was a disguise for survival. She did everything in her power to attract me as a best friend. I was a substitute for the solid foundation that she lacked and craved. We played out the parent-teen rebellion, since she couldn't with her mother. I wish that I had the maturity in high school to step back from that situation, to let go in healthy dosages, and to realize that she wasn't abandoning me. She couldn't help herself. The relationships that she fabricated in high school were mad attempts at family creation. Today she's living far away with her boyfriend. I hope that she's happy, and the distance removes her enough from anything familiar, giving her the opportunity to start from scratch and to give up the mime.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell for notifications on future videos, and become a stalker of the night. And I'll see you next time.